Welcome back to our channel, where we continue our mission to reveal the extraordinary stories of sea turtle rescues. Today, we dive even deeper. This episode brings you closer to the dramatic rescues that unfold every day in our oceans. We begin with a rescue where volunteers painstakingly remove barnacles from sea turtle shells. Barnacle infestations can severely reduce a turtle's mobility, increasing its risk of starvation and infection. Did you know that barnacle-covered turtles have a 30% lower survival rate? With each barnacle removed, these turtles regain their ability to swim freely. This seemingly small act of kindness makes a world of difference. Someone in the neighborhood down a street to get what we can crawl up the walls, make a few calls to the man. From a single frame and intend to find the scrappy of the triangle band, whose heart was land within. In another scene, two men come across a stranded sea turtle, tangled in debris. Without hesitation, they work together to free it. Acts of kindness like this can increase a turtle's survival rate by up to 50% in dangerous situations. Watching these men save the turtle is a powerful reminder that every small effort counts. Can we all be as vigilant and compassionate in our daily lives? A 100-year-old sea turtle finds itself trapped under a coral reef, struggling to break free. A brave rescuer dives in, risking it all to save the ancient creature. Turtles that reach a century in age are a testament to the resilience of nature, but even they are not immune to modern-day threats. Research shows that older turtles have a 40% decrease in recovery rates when trapped for long periods. The tears in this turtle's eyes, as it's freed, are enough to move anyone to action. But how many more turtles are silently suffering out of sight? Our next story takes us to a scene where a massive turtle is being strangled by a cable. As the rescue team arrives, the tension is palpable. Turtles caught in such situations often have a 60% chance of losing their lives due to restricted movement and injuries. With quick thinking and careful hands, the rescuers manage to free the turtle just in time. Will this lucky escape inspire others to be more mindful of the waste they leave behind? A local rescue team discovers a turtle with a fishing hook lodged deep in its throat. Removing it requires precision, as any mistake could lead to fatal injuries. Turtles with internal injuries like this have a 50% lower chance of surviving if not treated immediately. The locals' skillful hands and quick thinking bring this turtle back from the brink of death. In a surprising twist, a sea turtle is found trapped in the twisted roots of a tree. Volunteers work tirelessly to free it, knowing that every moment counts. Studies show that turtles caught in such unusual entanglements have only a 20% chance of escaping on their own. As the last root is pried away, the turtle swims free. A testament to the resilience of both nature and those who care for it. Next, we encounter a giant sea turtle completely covered in barnacles, struggling to move. The rescue team works meticulously to remove the barnacles, giving this turtle a renewed chance at life. Turtles in this condition face a 50% reduction in their ability to forage and avoid predators. Each scrape of the tool brings the turtle closer to freedom and recovery. The rescue team comes across not one, but two turtles trapped in layers of plastic waste. They carefully cut away the entanglements, knowing that turtles in such situations can suffer a 70% decrease in their life expectancy due to infections and stress. These rescues show us that teamwork and dedication can make a significant difference in preserving marine life. In one of the most shocking rescues yet, a turtle is found with a wire piercing through its mouth and tail. The process to free it is painstaking and delicate, with every second critical to its survival. Such severe injuries reduce a turtle's survival rate by 80% if not treated quickly. The relief in the turtle's eyes, as it's finally freed, is both heartwarming and heartbreaking. These rescues remind us of the hidden struggles that sea turtles endure every day due to human impact. From tangled nets to deadly debris, the challenges they face are growing. But with every rescue, there is hope. Let's take a stand together. Like, share, and subscribe to help spread awareness, because protecting the ocean and its inhabitants is a responsibility we all share. Let's ensure that these ancient mariners continue to swim freely in our oceans for generations to come. Shelton the sea turtle wasn't himself. He wasn't gliding effortlessly through the sapphire currents, wasn't chasing the shimmering schools of krill with his usual playful enthusiasm. Shelton was heavy, achingly so. Every movement felt like dragging an anchor chain through molasses. His once vibrant shell, a mosaic of amber and brown, was now a craggy, white-encrusted landscape. Barnacles, those tenacious little crustaceans, had taken up residence, transforming his streamlined home into a cumbersome, painful burden. It had started subtly. A few tiny white specks, barely noticeable against the rich hues of his shell. Shelton hadn't paid them much mind. Barnacles were a common sight, clinging to rocks, driftwood, even whales. He'd seen them all his life. But these weren't just passing hitchhikers. These barnacles were determined to stay, their miniature cement fortresses multiplying day by day, week by week. At first, it was just an annoyance, a slight drag on his speed. Then came the itching, a constant, maddening prickle that no amount of scratching could alleviate. As the barnacle colonies expanded, the itching turned to pain, a dull, throbbing ache that radiated through his shell and into his weary muscles. His movements became sluggish, his breathing labored. The simple joy of swimming, a feeling as natural as his own heartbeat, was now a torturous ordeal. He tried everything to dislodge the unwelcome guests. He scraped against the rough coral, hoping to pry them loose. He rubbed against the sandy seabed, but the barnacles held fast, their grip tightening with each passing tide. He even sought the help of his fellow turtles, but they, sleek and unburdened, could only offer sympathetic glances and helpless shrugs. Their smooth shells offered no purchase for his desperate pleas. The pain intensified, gnawing at him like a hungry ghost. Shelton was growing weaker. He could no longer keep up with the other turtles, was often left behind, adrift in the vast, indifferent ocean. The vibrant coral reefs, once his playground and hunting grounds, now seemed miles away, unreachable. He was losing hope. One sun-drenched afternoon, as Shelton drifted listlessly near the surface, his pain-clouded eyes caught sight of something unfamiliar. A large, strange shape loomed in the distance, unlike anything he'd seen before. It wasn't a whale, nor was it a ship. It was something else entirely, something that exuded a curious energy, a blend of purpose and kindness. As the shape drew closer, Shelton realized it was a boat, filled with humans. He normally avoided humans, having witnessed their carelessness and destructive power. But desperation gnawed at him, overriding his ingrained caution. He was drowning, not in water, but in pain. He had to try. Summoning the last of his strength, Shelton swam towards the boat. He knew, somehow, that these humans were different. He could sense their compassion, their concern for the creatures of the sea. He swam closer, his heart pounding against his barnacle-encrusted shell. Reaching the boat, he circled it slowly, his weary eyes fixed on the humans on board. They watched him with a mixture of surprise and pity. One of them, a woman with kind eyes and sun-kissed skin, leaned over the railing. "You poor thing," she murmured, her voice filled with genuine concern. "What's happened to you?" Shelton, normally silent, felt a strange urge to communicate, a desperate need to convey his plight. He focused all his energy, all his will, on a single thought, a single plea: "Help me." The woman gasped. Did you hear that?" she whispered to her companions. The others looked at her, puzzled. "Hear what?" I think the turtle spoke," she stammered, her eyes wide with disbelief. They laughed gently, dismissing her words as wishful thinking. But the woman persisted, her gaze locked on Shelton's pain-filled eyes. She reached out her hand, as if to touch him. Shelton, sensing her empathy, nudged his barnacle-ridden shell against the hull of the boat. The scraping sound echoed in the still air. The woman's eyes widened further. "He's trying to tell us something," she insisted. "Look at his shell. He's in pain." The others finally noticed the severity of Shelton's condition. They exchanged worried glances, their laughter replaced by a shared concern. They carefully lowered a net into the water, gently coaxing Shelton inside. On board the boat, Shelton was examined by the crew. They were a team of marine biologists, dedicated to studying and protecting the ocean's inhabitants. They recognized the barnacles immediately, and the pain they were causing. "Poor little guy," one of the biologists muttered, gently running a gloved hand over Shelton's shell. "These barnacles are suffocating him." The team quickly set to work, carefully removing the barnacles one by one. It was a painstaking process, requiring patience and precision. They used specialized tools to gently pry the barnacles loose, taking care not to damage Shelton's delicate shell. As the barnacles were removed, Shelton felt a wave of relief wash over him. The pain gradually subsided, replaced by a tingling sensation, the feeling of his shell breathing again. He closed his eyes, savoring the freedom from the constant ache. Hours later, the last barnacle was gone. Shelton's shell, though scarred, was smooth and clean once more. He felt lighter, stronger, reborn. He swam in a small tank on board the boat, testing his newfound mobility. The joy of effortless movement returned, filling him with gratitude. The biologists monitored him for a few days, ensuring he was healthy and strong enough to return to the ocean. Then, on a calm, bright morning, they took him back to the reef, the place he called home. As Shelton slipped back into the familiar waters, he felt a surge of joy. He swam with renewed vigor, his revitalized shell gleaming in the sunlight. He looked back at the boat, at the humans who had saved him. He couldn't speak their language, but he sent them a message, a silent wave of gratitude that rippled through the water. He knew he would never forget their kindness, their compassion. He knew he would carry their memory with him, a beacon of hope in the vast, unpredictable ocean. And as he swam towards the vibrant coral, towards life and freedom, he made a silent vow to live his life to the fullest, a testament to the second chance he had been given.